Hi everyone, my name is Alyssa and welcome back to the 5 Foot Test Kitchen. If you are new here, I post about 2 videos a week, sometimes more, usually less. It's been a little bit more of a random upload schedule that I've had, but I typically do a lot of baking videos. I do some lifestyle, but mostly baking. So if that sounds interesting to you, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below and hit the notification bell if you haven't already. It'll really help me grow my channel and I really appreciate that. So today we will be making carrot cake cupcakes with brown sugar cream cheese frosting by Celebrating Sweets. I couldn't not do something with carrot cake with Easter coming up, and I'm trying to will spring to come. So let's hope that this brings on the spring weather. It's pretty dreary here today, so I could really use some sunshine. I'm sure a lot of people are feeling the same way. So this is a pretty easy recipe. You know that I don't do a lot of cakes, so I figured cupcakes would be the best option for a carrot cake option. I'm also going to be doing a healthier carrot cake-ish version. It's actually gonna be kind of like pancakes. So that video is probably already up. So if you haven't seen that already, I'll link it in the eye above and then down in the description box as well. And like always, the recipe will be linked in the description box as well as my social medias, which is 5 Foot Test Kitchen everywhere. So now that we have had a nice long intro, let's get to baking. So for the cupcake portion, that's all of the ingredients that I have out right now. I'll do the frosting later so that everything's cooled and ready to go, so it doesn't make sense to make it right now. So all you will need is flour, baking soda, baking powder, ground cinnamon, salt. All of those are all measured already in this bowl. I'm trying to not make too many dishes for myself. Then you will need vegetable oil, unsweetened applesauce. So what I actually did, I don't have applesauce in my house right now, but I had some of the leftover like carrot nibs at the end that you can't really grate very well, as well as some apples. So we just pureed that with just a touch of water to make kind of an apple carrot sauce-ish. So it's basically the same thing as unsweetened applesauce. So we kind of made our own. And then you also need brown sugar, regular sugar, vanilla, finely grated carrots. Make sure you're very careful with that. And then if you want to put chopped walnuts in, you can. I'm opting not to, just because if I want to share this with anyone, if someone has a nut allergy, I don't want them to have to worry about that. And then as well as eggs. So let's get started. I already got all of the dry ingredients in this bowl, so I'm just gonna whisk it together really quickly. Also, my oven is preheating to 350 degrees, and I have my cupcakes liners lined. I didn't think I was gonna make something in cupcakes again for Easter, but I did. So there we go. We have cute little bunny liners. So now that we have all the dry ingredients, we are going to get almost all of the wet ingredients. So we're going to whisk the oil, applesauce, brown sugar, eggs, and vanilla until well combined. So we're gonna just leave the carrots and the walnuts, if you are using those, to the side. And for those carrots, it's about 2 medium to large carrots. So just make sure you're very careful with that. So we're getting all of these added. So I don't know if I have ever actually really made carrot cake before. I think I have once in one of my foods and nutrition classes. At my high school, we had a foods class where you got to learn about baking and cooking. It was actually really cool. So if you have that if you're in high school or even middle school and they have that option, I definitely recommend it. You learn a lot. My favorite was a cheese tasting day that we had. I really loved that. And clearly it was very memorable because I still talk about it. My oven's ready to go. Alright, so you're just gonna whisk that until it's combined. It's nice and dark. I'm using dark brown sugar to give it a more rich dark and brown sugar flavor. When we make the frosting, or the icing, frosting, Alyssa. Okay, when you make the frosting, you're going to want to add a little bit of molasses as well. I don't have that personally as an option, but I'm using the brown sugar instead to give it a little more rich flavor. So now we are going to add in the dry ingredients. And then stir until combined. So do you have carrot cake or anything like that at your Easter dinners or brunches or breakfasts, or what do you do for Easter? We have kind of like a late lunch for ours, and we've never had carrot cake at it, but maybe I'll make this again when it gets closer to Easter and take it so that everyone can try it if it turns out really well. I think it will though. So we have this all combined, and now we're just going to add the carrots. This is just a super simple recipe. You guys know I don't do anything fancy around here, but I think this frosting is gonna be so delicious. I think that's what's gonna make it. There's so much carrot in this. I think it'll be really tasty. So it says it makes about 12 cupcakes. So that's good. So if you're gonna make more, you're gonna wanna obviously double or triple that. But 12 is perfect for me. Now we're gonna just grab some cupcake trays and get this in there. I'm ready to go. I'm guessing it's probably about 3/4 full. It just said to divide into 12. So I'm gonna do about 3/4 full and then adjust accordingly if there's too much or too little. Maybe start with 2/3 so that if there's too little, you don't have to remeasure. So, have you guys been watching lots of baking videos during this time at home, or is everything kind of status quo for you? I've finally been able to catch up, and one of my goals right now, even though I'm not posting a ton, I'm trying to be more active on YouTube and commenting on other people's stuff and trying to be a better subscriber. So if you are new here, let me know so that I can come check your stuff out. I'm really trying to comment and like and be more active. I realize I'm more of a passive watcher, and that's not necessarily great for building relationships and growing your channel. So I'm really trying to be more supportive in the group. I'm much more active on Instagram because it's just easier to be active on Instagram. Like, it's just so much easier. And I watch YouTube on my TV a lot of the time. So you have to, like, if you want to comment, you have to like get on your phone and go comment there. So I am watching your guys' videos. If you're out there, I just might not be commenting because I'm watching on my TV and that's just more challenging. All right, so it is about 3/4 and I made a mess, so shocker, I made a mess. That never happens. So we're gonna clean that up a little bit. Now we are going to get these in the oven for 18 to 20 minutes or until you can put a toothpick in and it comes out clean. Then you're going to, I'm trying to do too many multitasking things. Then you are going to let it cool in the trays for about 10 minutes. And then you will take them out and put them on wire racks to let them cool the rest of the way. So once we have these out of the oven and start cooling, then I will start working on the frosting. But I mean, there's no sense in starting it until we're ready to go to start frosting. Excuse me. So I will see you in like 5 seconds for you guys this time, and about probably 45 or 25, 30 minutes my time. So stick around to see how that turns out. All right, so as you can see, the cupcakes are out of the oven. They smell so good. I wish you could smell these. I don't make cake enough because it smells so good and it just makes your whole house smell so good. So now we're gonna quickly whip up the frosting. All you will need is powdered sugar, brown sugar, vanilla, butter, and cream cheese. So, and if you want molasses, you can add that. I just use dark brown sugar. Yeah, that's the word, dark brown sugar. All right, so to start off, we are going to just Place the butter, cream cheese, and brown sugar in the stand mixer and beat them together for about 1 to 2 minutes at medium speed. So let's get started. Pardon my ice maker is making all kinds of noises. It's crazy. All right, so we're gonna beat this together at medium speed, like I said, for about 1 to 2 minutes until it's nice and smooth. All right, so you're going to wanna make sure you scrape the sides and the beaters to make sure everything is going to be incorporated in. Also, keep an eye out for those little hard pieces of brown sugar. If it's not very, very new brown sugar, you want to get as fresh as you can. But right now, a lot of people aren't able to make it to the store. So make sure you're just keeping an eye out for those little pieces of the hardened brown sugar. And once you have everything scraped, you're going to beat for just maybe 20 more seconds. All right, so now that this is all combined, we are going to add the vanilla, the molasses if you're doing it, and then the powdered sugar. So I'm adding 2 cups of powdered sugar. So we'll see how thick this turns out. If we want it a little thicker, we'll just add a little bit more powdered sugar. So we'll see how that turns out. I'm just gonna add a little bit at a time. Maybe like half. So we're gonna add the rest of this. I'm gonna pop that up really fast. And just keep making sure that you scrape the sides to get everything included. I just realized I missed a step. So before you add the powdered sugar and the vanilla, you're going to want to let it sit for about 5 minutes to let the brown sugar kind of soak into the butter and the cream cheese to try to make it not as gritty. So we'll see how this turns out. We'll know whether that's a necessary step or not pretty soon, I guess. So we're gonna get this all combined, and then we'll be ready to decorate. All right, and for those of you that are new here, my name is definitely the 5 Foot Test Kitchen because this is very much so just a test kitchen. These aren't my recipes, as I've mentioned before, and this is my first time making these recipes. So you'll kind of be going through it with me, figuring everything out, and just seeing how this all works together. So the frosting is all done. And we are going to now get it into a bag. I have some piping tips and bags that I could use, but I'm just gonna use just a regular bag because I know a lot of you probably don't have piping tips out there, or you do because I just don't have a lot of ingredients or tools. So we are going to get this into just a regular bag. You could also just spread it on like with a knife if you don't wanna pipe it. But we're just gonna do this. And just stick it in a glass to make it easier so that it stands upright. I realize after the fact a lot of the time I'm covering what I'm doing with bowls, and I realize I'm doing that yet again, and it probably irritates a lot of you. All right, so let's get to decorating. Just gonna cut a little snip and then start piping this. I am by no means a good decorator, so I just do really basic. just like that. All right, so these are all frosted. They're by no means perfect, not even close, but I somehow managed to get basically the right amount of frosting on here because I didn't have any leftovers, and that never happens. So yay for that. So now we are going to try these. I'm really excited because they smelled really good coming out of the oven, and they look really moist. So they look really good. Those are so good. The cinnamon pulls through. The brown sugar frosting is so delicious. If you haven't made this frosting before, you really need to. It is so, so good. Even to just put on ice cream or something, or just to eat with a spoon. I would do that. So, or eat with graham crackers, or obviously you can make carrot cake cupcakes and put it on that. So one thing that she did say in the recipe is you're going to want to store these in the fridge because this frosting is a little bit softer than a lot of cream cheese frosting, so storing it in the fridge is your best option. Typically, I feel like you should store anything with cream cheese frosting on it in the fridge, but definitely make sure you do that, and then just take them out when you're ready to serve. So that's just something to remember. Also, if you made the frosting and it was too loose to pipe, either add a little bit of extra powdered sugar if you want it to be thicker, or stick it in the fridge for about 30 minutes to let it stiffen up a little bit. So let me know if you make this. They're super delicious. I think you're really gonna like it. Take it to Easter or whatever. Let me know if you end up doing that in the comment section down below, or tag me on Instagram. I love hearing that you guys might be making some of these recipes. So as always, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and have a nice morning, night, or afternoon wherever you are. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.